What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this routine, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach lobby. This is, I think, part 9. I don't know. I've honestly lost count. And in this part, we're going to be getting the ceiling in entirely along with these banners and really just finishing up all of the walls and stuff. Almost closing off everything. We just love the elevators to close off and I guess the outer rooms, but those aren't particularly important yet. Anyway, with that being said, enjoy the tutorial and I will catch you on the flip side. So our goal here is to try to get really all of the walls and ceiling done, as probably was mentioned in the intro. I know I am just repeating things, but I don't know what my goal is, and I don't know what was said, so, you know, me when I'm technically speaking in the past and the future at the same time. You want to start with a fresh inventory getting out. Block of iron. Here's a fun one. Block of netherite. It always comes back somehow. I always end up using it. Magenta concrete. Blue wool, and there's a weird reason for this one, which will be more important later, I think. We'll end up getting out, I guess, andesite walls and prismarine walls, because doorways are fun. And we'll go warped fence, cherry fence, and a cherry fence gate. Now, we're going to start on the right side. And where you have this row of purple wool here, this row of 4, you want to break it and replace it with a row of iron. Block of iron. Also, if you're really... Actually, never mind. If you're in survival making this, you're just already hopeless. I hate to break it to you. You want to bring this row of iron out an additional row. And then place a netherite on the far right one and more iron on the left 3. You will leave the left block open in these 2, I guess, rightmost iron. You'll place netherite in front of with 2 iron to the right. Extend each of those 4 blocks, the 2 netherite and 2 iron, forward with 2 additional iron. And then you will again leave the leftmost iron open and go right with 2 iron, 2 netherite. Going left to right in front of just those 4, you'll place 2 netherite, 2 iron. Place another row of iron in front of that. Leave the leftmost block open and bring the right 3 forward with an additional iron, which will extend right an additional 1 again. And then you can bring that iron towards you an additional 2 rows, and you'll end up inside the wall a little bit, which is fine, but well, we only need the middle 2, really. It's just better to put all 4, because we might as well. To the right of the iron, you can just place 3 blue wool there. I don't know why that's there, and I don't know if that's actually intentional or not, but I have it there, so we're going to go with it. Now, this wall is flat magenta, pretty much, to the same extent that this wall kind of is. So, what you're going to end up doing is taking the either end block of iron and just bring it up with magenta until it's at the top here. I'm going to start with that. And then really all of those magenta, but the bottom 3 can connect together. You will just want to have a 2x3 gap here in the bottom for a doorway. And again, the rest of this wall is kind of just magenta, so you're filling in this little gap of 1 and then filling into the wall to the side here. This wall will be taller on the side. That is fine. It needs to be taller for later. Not really important just yet, though. I mean, it kind of is. It's weird. It actually might be important now. Well, not really. I'm just looking at something and I'm realizing there's something weird with that. Anyway, you want to fill in this doorway here with andesite walls at the bottom and a 2x2 of prismarine walls at the top. If you're looking at this doorway, you will take the left half of it, or actually we're gonna say the right half of it, and you're gonna leave the first magenta open in place, moving up a warped fence, and then 2 cherry fence. Left of this, you're gonna do the same thing, going from bottom to top in line with those 3, and place a cherry fence. A cherry fence gate that is opened, and then a warped fence. And the far left row will be warped fence at the bottom, cherry fence in the middle, and then warped fence at the top. The only thing I will mention here is you should probably get rid of... I'm going to go with the cherry fence gates and get out structure voids. And left and right of these bottom warped fences, you'll place structure voids. You should already have them from earlier. If you accidentally got rid of them or something, you just come over here and just kind of randomly click around and hope you get it. I think it's here. Yeah, it's right there. So you see, you can click it. It should be on top of, or I guess between the red concrete powders. Or alternatively, if you look down and highlight over a block, you'd be like, I can't see that block's outline, so you'll be on the structure void. I think the highlight also lets you see it, but I'm not positive on that one. Anyway, the other side is a little bit weirder. But also not really. It is the same for this iron netherite pattern, though, which is always nice for us. Except the end will change because we do actually have to worry about the inside this time. So you will replace these purple wool with iron again. Bring it out an additional row. Far left is a netherite and right 3 are iron. Leave the furthest right iron open and go left with 2 netherite, iron. Place another row of iron off that extends left an additional one. Is that really how that was? No, I'm just missing a block. That's so awesome. Why do I do that? And then you'll bring that row of iron forward an additional row. Then leave the rightmost iron open and go left with 2 iron, 2 netherite. Then bring that row forward again, but invert it. Then place a row of iron in front of that. Leave the right iron open and place 4 iron going left, so you'll end up overhanging. And then you want another full row of iron moving in, which you will have to destroy some magenta for this. And then you'll bring the right 2 iron forward. Again, yeah, I am missing a block here, you can see, but I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it because, like, whatever. It's not that huge of a deal, I guess. I would advise clearing your inventory for this part. And getting out. Magenta concrete again, it always comes back. Black concrete. Black stained glass blocks. Black stone walls. Diorite walls. Red nether brick walls. Red concrete. And we might as well get out the glass panes as well. And I don't think we need anything in this 9 slot. If you want to get our oak planks, it actually might make our life a little bit easier here, though. So I'm going to tell you to just place an additional row of oak inside of all this magenta and iron and stuff like so. This will, again, just help us. Because, essentially, off of the furthest... Well, let's head to the back and look forward to make this, again, a little bit easier. So this row of magenta will be left. And not on the actual end in a block, which will be on top of this oak, you'll place a black glass. Right of it, a black concrete. And then you'll place right of that a black stone wall. Go forward diagonally right with a diorite wall. Right with a black concrete. Right with a black glass. Just for fun, right of that is a cyan terracotta. You can get rid of the oak, I guess. That was really all we needed it for. Right of that is a cyan terracotta, and then in front of that cyan terracotta or towards you is a red concrete. So, the best way I'm going to explain this is, you want to bring each of the black concretes up by 6. So cool, I misplaced that. Then each black glass will be brought up with 2 black glass, a black concrete, 2 black glass, and then a black concrete. Each of the walls in the middle will be brought up with 2 red nether brick walls, a black concrete, 2 black glass, a black concrete. You will then place 2 rows of black glass on top of this top row of black concrete, and then another row of black concrete. Then from there you want 3 rows of magenta concrete on top. You can... The middle row of black concrete, not quite the top one, it's the one below it. You will just extend all these black concretes out by an additional 1 so they overhang a little bit like so. It's only that row that you need to do that with. The only really other thing right now is you can bring the red concrete up to the same height as this, and I guess also the cyan terracotta if you want. You don't need it that high, but I might as well bring it that high because whatever, I don't feel like giving you the specific number yet. It's not important. I'm not going to give you the number just to have you need it again in 4 or 5 parts, you know, when we do that room. So the other thing I will talk about is the doors here, especially the ones on the diagonals like this one and the daycare door over there. Since we can't bring them in because there's not a block here, you could use full blocks if you wanted and just try to keep it the same vibe. It's really up to you. You could try to bring it out a block even though you'll have this kind of weird gap. Or you could just have them propped open. That works too. Really, whatever you think is best. I realize it is a little bit weird the way that it is, but yeah, it's how I have it. Anyway, on the outermost iron and netherite on both sides, you're going to place glass panes. Now, when you're doing this, you do want to connect them. You don't want to just have this whole thing. So you're going to end up, I guess, going an additional in on each row. So, like, you see this row here, it's going to be 3, and then I'll just bring it in an additional 1, and etc., etc., and yeah, you'll have this. Yeah, that's such a weird mistake from me. I can't get over that. But yeah, either way, whatever. It is what it is, I guess. You win some and you don't win some. I guess it doesn't make it unwalkable on, so it's not like it's noticeable that much. It just makes it a little bit narrower here than it is over there. I don't know. You should end up with this anyway. Let's make the outer walls to the extent that we can, I guess, if you will. So, we'll start with, we're going to actually use the front this time. Get rid of everything but your magenta you will need, or if you just get rid of everything and get on magenta, that is fine too. But you also want to get out stone slabs, red concrete, and smooth quartz slabs, and I feel like it's everything we might need for now. We can get out for the next little bit black concrete, ochre frog lights, and yeah, we'll just go with that for now. We don't really need to get anything else. I guess maybe if you wanted to get out blue terracotta, that wouldn't be, I would not be opposed to that. So you want to start at the left side here where you have this magenta, and you will notice it is 1 short of the red concrete, but it is 2 blocks taller. That's important, I swear. I didn't just say that for fun. So, what you want to do from here is, you want to, hold on, I'm just trying to gain my bearings here. You actually want the magenta an additional row taller. I'm not sure why this is off, but it is anyway. You should end up with it being 3 taller now. What you want to do from this point is, where the magenta is, you essentially want to bring it pretty much all the way forward with stone until you run into something or other. Now, I'm going to stop, where am I going to stop? I'm going to stop like about where the roof ends there, and you see that will be here. Because that's really as far as you're probably going to need to go. It is nice to go a little bit further, maybe, so you have a little bit of a failsafe, but yeah. On the opposite side, you want to do a fairly similar thing. Now, again, I think we will need to bring it up a row, but I'm not positive on that. Why is everything, like, off? Oh, because that just is too short, haha. Yeah, so you are bringing the magenta up an additional row. Except this time, the end row of magenta also wants to be stone. These top 3 only, though. You could go only top 2, but I guess we'll go with the top 3. And again, you'll bring it forward with stone until you're about at the point where the stone at the beginning stopped. The other thing you should note is the magenta concrete rows we made earlier that I said you can put if you want, where they went out a little bit. These should end up connecting to the stone. There'll be like a row inside. And yeah, that is just important. We will have to bring the stone down a little bit in a second, just it's not important yet. So what we can do now is that aforementioned back row of stone. This one right here. Yeah, just, I want to confirm first that we actually have it in the right spot, which it would appear that we do. Yes, it is just one before that sea lantern row. You see where it is right here. And you will just extend it left and right until it connects into the stone to some capacity. And essentially what you want to do is you want to go back with an upside down, or 2, no, actually it's not 2, I lied. It's an upside down stone slab row, then up diagonally back with stone, back with upside down stone slab, up diagonally back with stone, back with upside down stone slab, and you want to do this until you are really one above the height of that stone over there, and I think that's, is it there? It is there, if I'm correct, yeah. It really isn't that far. You'll end up in line with that middle ochre froglet on that side, which is the right side. I'm just going to confirm that that is correct, which it is. Yeah, it is. And then you want to just extend that left to right. We're not going to fill the majority of the roof just yet. And if you end up with any blocks like this, like you'll see this stone, you should probably fill in maybe back to the magenta would be smart. Just another row down. But yeah, you kind of just want to make this part. We will get numbers and stuff for the actual stone after this, because we have to do the dome. That will be so much fun. I'm so excited. I don't think that'll be this part, though. I am not really sure just yet. But you just want to fill in this particular part. Once you're at the top row of stone where it's above, you will just kind of go to, really, I guess, one before the walls. If you care about lighting, you will need to coat all of these upside down slabs with blocks on the outside, which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is, I guess, and it's not the end of the world. Sometimes it's like that, I guess. This is such a weird shape. I'm just now noticing, like, it's got like a bow almost to it in the middle. Because you have the top where diagonaled up, and then you have here where it diagonals up. That's so weird. I wonder why it's like that. Anyway, that's really all of that. Now, we might as well bring the stone back. You just want to bring it back with, to start, we're going to go 8 rows. And this 8th row will be where the red concrete begins. If I do otherwise later, then I'm wrong. That's really all it is. Because I specifically added an extra row there, and I should hopefully remember that in theory. Actually, we'll start with the circle now, so I don't forget that. But yeah. I guess you technically only need 7. It just is helpful to have 8, because, yeah, more is always better, I guess. I don't know. I'm just the builder, not the messenger. I can't do both. We should have this. We're slowly encroaching the back, except not really. So you want to try to find the middle here. This is probably not going to be fun, but if you look at Freddy, you can actually use him as the middle, and you want just a red concrete underneath each of the middle back stones. And you see here, I should be in line with Freddy. Freddy's head is the middle, or should be in theory. If I trace it down, yeah, it's the middle of the fountain, and I know the fountain is in the middle, so yeah. And I'm gonna make sure that this is 8 here. Yes, it is. You will take this red concrete and extend it out to the left and right by 2. You'll then go out diagonally back by 1. Out 1. Out diagonally back by 1. Out 1. Then out diagonally back 1. And back 1. Out diagonally back 1. Back 1, out diagonally back 1, back by 5, then out diagonally, or back diagonally in by 1, excuse me, back 1, and you should probably get the drill from here, back diagonally in 1, back 1, back diagonally in 1, back diagonally in 1, back diagonally in 1, and you should connect together with 4 red concrete. And if you look from above, that is a fairly perfect circle. It's not quite perfect because it's Minecraft, but you know, it's as perfect as you can probably get. So you want to place an additional red concrete really just inside of each block. Now, when you do this, you should end up with some 1 diagonals. It's not really, like, it's not complicated. Don't overthink it. Just place 1 inside of each. No more, no less. I guess this corner is the only questionable part, but you're just placing like 3 in total. Oh, did I already do that? Oh no, I just needed those 2. Yeah. So it should look like a donut, except a really, really wide donut. It almost looks like the red circle emoji. Like, not to say it's a perfect circle, but it reminds me of the red circle emoji. I think because of the thickness and the general size. Either way, we're going to ignore that. And we can kind of fill in the rest of the stone around this. You can go on top of it a little bit if you want. I'm going to actually perfectly circle around it. And you want to go pretty much all the way back with the stone until you are... Let me just get a basis from that purple there. You are 3 rows behind this purple concrete little square here. It's not really a square, but you get the point. So 1, 2, 3. Alternatively, you will actually be in line with the red concrete pillars that are on these sides here. And yeah, you'll just fill in all of this area with stone. I think I'm gonna time-lapse this, you know? It hasn't been a lot of time-lapses in this. I mean, maybe like 1 every 4th episode or something, but I will time-lapse this one, I think, because it's a pretty big area, I would say. So you should have this now, if you have filled in all of your stone accordingly. We're gonna do one thing with this circle, and we're gonna do the kind of outer sides here, and then we might end there. I don't know how much longer I particularly will go, but depending on how long that takes. But anyway, let's start with the dome here at the top, and you want to start by taking the middle of the rows of 6 here at the edges, and specifically, well, the middle 2 blocks, and just extending 2 upside down smooth quartz slabs out of each of those 2 middle blocks. This is like a sun type thing, so these are the little rays, if you will. That just looks weirder though, so we do need to add a couple more. I believe there are 8 more. There's 2 on each corner. You want to the row of or the 2 rows, I guess, of red, the 2 rows of 2 red off of these 6 here. You want to take this first one and just place an upside down smooth quartz slab kind of off of the edge of it. Then if you're looking at it, you'll end up bringing it, I guess, right 1 and then towards the circle again by 1 like that. So essentially you're really taking this first row of 2 red and you're taking the end of it and just surrounding it in upside down slabs again on every single one, and there should be 8 of those because there are 2 either side and there are 4 sides. And it will give you something that looks like this in theory. Get out of my way, Freddy. He's always in my way. Every episode he's getting in my way. Now, as far as I'm aware, these sides are symmetrical. However, I'm not going to make them symmetrical because it's a complicated reason. I just don't feel like it. Or I'm not going to make them both at the same time. I'm going to instruct them differently is what I should say. You want to take this magenta concrete here at the left side. We're going to start with this front corner, and you want to place a black concrete off of it. Extend it to the right by 2. And then you can actually start by extending it forward by 3. You will, in addition, extend it back by 6. Then back diagonally right by 1. Back 1. Back diagonally right 1. Back 1. Back diagonally right 1. Back by 3. Back diagonally right 1. Back by 10. And then you'll go back diagonally left by 2, and from there you should just connect all the way over with black concrete. And I'm going to confirm that that is 3, which it is. Nice. We don't want to quite fill it in yet with black concrete. I guess what you can actually do, though, is take the front black concrete that you placed and just extend it also left, so we kind of wall everything off here. But if you start from the end black concrete that you placed here at the back, you want to place a black concrete in front of it. Then you'll place 1 to the right. Then continuing to go right, you'll place an ochre frog light, black concrete, frog light, concrete, frog light, concrete, frog light, and then a concrete. Take that end concrete and extend it forward by 3, and then place a frog light. Then you'll go forward with 4 concrete and place a frog light to the right. Then forward with 3 concrete, frog light. Then forward with 4 concrete, and I guess this 4th one will already be here, but just left of this you'll place a frog light then. And then from there you'll place a black concrete. We'll start left this time. Then 2 concrete forward, frog light, concrete left, 3 forward, frog light, 4 concrete forward, which the 3rd one should already be placed, and then it'll be a frog light in the corner here. We're not going to worry about filling this in just yet, because both sides kind of have the same thing going on. So if you take this front right magenta here, you want to place a black concrete on top of it again. You want to extend it left by 3. Is that different then? Hold on, I just make sure. I don't know. So yeah, okay, that is different. My bad. It's not symmetrical. I am, in fact, correct then for not making them the same. That is good. You will extend the black from there, though, forward by 3. along with... Well, you can actually extend this right first. We might as well just get this out of the way now. But that back one you can extend back by 10. Then back diagonally left one. Back one. Back diagonally left one. Back by 2. Back diagonally left one. Back by 3. Back diagonally left one. Back by 4. I don't know why I was having troubles counting that. And then you will end up going back diagonally right by 2. And connecting right, which you should connect in theory just beyond that row of stone here. It'll be on this, I guess, last row of magenta where the stone ends up taking over on this block here. Speaking of this block, you will actually place a black concrete off of this bottom stone, or it could be a magenta depending on. But you want to bring it then left with 2 black, froglight, black, froglight, black, froglight, black, froglight, black. And then you'll bring that forward with 3 more concrete, froglight, 3 concrete, froglight, then 3 concrete, and right with a froglight. Then you'll end up, I guess, starting by going right with a concrete, and then forward by 3, froglight, 3 concrete, froglight, 3 concrete, froglight, and then it'll, I guess, be 3 concrete again. The middle one will be placed this time, and then a froglight in the very corner. So you should end up with this. Now, this part is a little bit annoying because of the fact that we already have the ceiling in place, but it just made more sense to put that in first anyway. You want to fill in both of these segments, the upper ones and the lower ones, with black concrete on the ceiling, just to fill in the top here, essentially, and cut off, I guess, access to the outside world, for lack of better terminology here. I don't think I said the thing yet. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. Recording these parts, like, either back-to-back or with something else in the way always confuses me. But you really only have to fill in as far as... Well, I guess actually you do have to fill in almost all of it, don't you? But obviously you don't have to fill in under things. Just make sure that from above, when you look at it, everything is kind of closed. You see, like, that's fully closed now. And yeah, I don't think I'll hit you with another time-lapse for this, because it shouldn't be, A, too long, and B, I'm not hitting you with back-to-back time-lapses like that. 7 minutes apart, that's kind of rude. But yeah. I think I'll go to like 20 minutes on this video clip. I don't know. Because the other one was obviously 20 with the time-lapse, or a little over 20 with the time-lapse in it. This does suck to play this, I'm not gonna lie. This is why I don't particularly like using black concrete as a building block. It is just impossible to see anything, and I don't know what I'm placing. Like, oh, I just placed an entire row up. That's really cool. Like, I did not see that I was doing that, just at all. Oh, it's because I started on an already placed block. That makes more sense. But like, oh my god. You should really just fly over and just see if anything catches your eye. And if it does, then you know that you need a block there. And if it doesn't, then you're probably fine, but maybe not. And then I'll start with the bottom over here. Yeah. Fun times. I think after this, once we get... Really, the rest of the roof will probably finish today. I think we'll start with the dome tomorrow, get that out of the way, and then we'll hopefully be able to also do these center details as well in that part. The dome is the scary part, I think. Once we're done with the dome, I mean, it's pretty easy. There are some, like, weird diagonal walls and stuff, but none of it is really that bad. It's just that dome, you know? It's just the big guy. I don't know, we might have time for it in this part, or at least even to start it. I don't think splitting it half and half would necessarily be a terrible idea. But I think with 12 minutes, there's really no point in even trying to start it. That'll probably be a 15-20 minute thing on its own. But again, if I did split it in half, it'd be interesting. But I think we'll end up having enough other stuff to do in this part, too. Or direct our attention to. And also the dome uses black concrete, which is going to be just impossible to place as per usual. So those things are, I guess. Anyway, there you go. That doesn't really make much of a difference from the lower level, but it does make a difference in general. The next step is a bit of a weird one. So, behind the back row of stone here, you want to place a row of blue terracotta. Now, yeah, you should just bring it all the way across, I think. Just make sure you stop where the walls end, because we will just have to bring those up in a little bit. But we're not bringing up all of them, because the ceiling isn't actually this high. You will end up placing another row of blue terracotta not directly below it, but another row down from it. So you're essentially just, you know, leaving a gap of one and placing a row of blue terracotta here, connecting across. This does get weird, trust me. The other thing I will mention is if when you filled in the stone, if you went into these corners, you actually will probably, I believe, want blue terracotta here. So you do not want particularly stone. I don't know why I keep saying particularly. I don't know why that's my new word. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's probably getting annoying at this point. Anyway, you want to take this lower row of blue terracotta, and on only the right side, you will connect it to the, I guess, magenta concrete and the cyan terracottas that are a block away from each other, which is the ones that are also at the same, I guess, level over. Just one blue terracotta. If you're looking at it, it's the right cyan terracotta and the right magenta concrete. You can also actually take where that blue terracotta is and just extend it back by 2 through that kind of row there. And from the back row of that, you'll place another row of blue terracotta going all the way across in the same position. Before we fill in anything crazy, you essentially have 3 lines right now that are all like right there. They're so close to touching, but they just don't. You will place a row of blue terracotta kind of diagonally through the middle, which will connect all of them together, and will fill in pretty much any gaps you will have from the front here. At least for the most part. We can kind of start to worry about fixing things now from angles. Each of these red concretes you'll bring back into the little crevice that we just made. I don't know why they go further back here, but they do. So yeah, just deal with it. I don't know. At the 2 corners here, as I mentioned, this will want to be blue terracotta, and it's just... Well, on one side it is, actually. On one side it is, one side it isn't. Okay. On the right side it is. It's just, you know, a block above the weird kind of cross we made on this side. But on the left, it is actually stone. And it is in line with the other stone, I'm pretty sure. Let me just confirm that I know what I'm doing. And, yeah, you're just filling this in with stone, and then you will end up having to bring up the red a little bit. And also make sure you fill in this block here, because this little blue terracotta crossbeam is visible up here. Now, not quite the last thing, I guess, but not where the bottom row blue terracotta is. This middle diagonal one you placed, you'll just fill in the back of the ceiling here in with blue terracotta. If you want to use /fill for this, you absolutely can and probably should. I'm not going to, because I'll pump out the video length a little bit. I might as well. That might get me an extra part out of it, not really. But you just want to fill in this entire ceiling. And that will pretty much close off everything except for the elevators, which is, I think, what we'll end up doing. Not quite next, but after we do the lighting. Although we might actually start next part with that as well. We might do, like, elevators and dome to start. I don't know if we'll be able to have enough time, but they shouldn't be too long. I could throw them in really either way. But yeah. It is nice to finally get all the walls closed off. Obviously, we still have the side rooms, but those are kind of a problem for a different day. Quite literally. Sometimes that's not very... Oh, God. I forgot I could just walk straight through the powdered snow to get back in. Anyway, you should have this now with everything closed off, except for the dome, I guess, at the top. But that's, again, still not really right now an issue. Let's do the lighting along with one other non-lighting related thing. You can clear your inventory and you will get out nether brick fence, polished deep slate slabs, sea lanterns, and both magenta and purple terracotta. We'll start with the lights. Also, you need dark oak fences, my bad. We'll start with the lights here at the back, and they are all in the same line. So if you look at the left wall, we will start on the, not the very front, I guess, row of this logo, but it'll be the row behind. And if you start on the ceiling, you want to leave the first 3 blue terracotta open, and on the 4th one, you're placing a nether brick fence. We'll make all these at the same time. You will then count right an additional 10 or leave a gap of 9 and place a fence. And then you'll leave a gap of 9 or, again, count 10 to the right and place a fence. You'll then do the same thing again. And I'm assuming the same thing one more time, but, like, I know the one time I say that it'll be different. Okay, no, it is the same thing one more time. And then you should be left with 5 blue terracotta on the end here. I don't know why it's not centered, but that's not my problem, I guess. Actually, it couldn't be. Wait, no, it could be, because this is 3, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, whatever. From each nether brick fence, you will place a polished deep slate block below it. Again, I'd recommend doing all of them at the same time, just because it's easier. Then place a sea lantern below that. I'm going to hit you with a 2-for-1. Off each side of the polished deep slate block, you will place a polished deep slate slab. Only off the straight edges, not on the diagonals. Off each side of the sea lantern, you will place upside down polished deep slate slabs to give you this, and that is your light design. This is like a... I believe I actually did use a design exactly like this in LN2. It is incredible that I can compare a security breach design to an LN2 design with how vastly different the scalings of those games are, but, you know, I guess I did it anyway. What are you going to do, stop me? You should end up with this. And that's, I mean, pretty much the lighting and everything done. Now... here's one more thing, of course, because there's always one more thing. Head to the front of the circle here in the ceiling, which reveals the sun, I guess. In front of these smooth quartz slabs here at the tippy front, what? You'll count to the 3rd stone row out. You can place a couple of blocks here just to mark it. You will count out an additional 1 from there and place either a nether brick or dark oak fence. I'm going to make it different on each side, and you'll see why in a second. Because then you'll go out from those with the opposite fence. So if you ended up doing opposite, you'll have the same thing where it'll go dark oak, nether brick, dark oak, nether brick. Or you could make it symmetrical, it doesn't particularly matter. But either way, you'll bring each fence down by 2. Like so. Make sure you're from the front half for this next step. Because underneath the left half of each of them, which will be a dark oak for me, actually I have a nether brick on the original, but it's dark oak here. You want to place a magenta terracotta, purple terracotta, magenta, purple, magenta, purple, magenta, purple. So you should end up with, in total, 8 of this alternating pattern. And then you'll extend them each right with the inverse. So magenta where there's a purple, purple where there's a magenta. There you go. Those are your banners. I didn't add the, like, Roxy. I think it's Roxy on them. Or it's somebody. I don't know. It might be all of them, actually. But I know Roxy is on one for sure somewhere. That is your banners done. And honestly, we're getting there, really. Next part, we're going to do the elevator's dome. And we're going to try to get, I think, all of the details in this particular main area done. If we can't do that, we would be in great position, I guess. I don't know. It's a lot of parts either way. I do apologize. This is, I know, getting a little bit out of hand now. But with that being said, thank you guys for if you guys did enjoy this video. Have a fantastic rest of your day or night. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.